Alrighty, so it's finished 2-0 to Spurs, a goal for Son and an own goal for Brentford, and that was a pretty comfortable game, wasn't it, really? I never felt as though Brentford were really going to hurt us in that game.
But I know they had at least one shot on target. I haven't seen the stats, but I would say that I never felt like they were going to score, to be honest, at all. At any point, to be honest.
That was definitely not the Brentford that we saw, early on this season against like Liverpool, and like when they're really up for it.
Yeah,
that almost looks like a team that's come up, but like towards the end of the season, and they realise they're going back down again.
Yeah.
It's that kind of thing,
exactly.
Looked a little bit
kind
like
of
that.
like Huddersfield a couple seasons ago.
Yeah, that kind of vibe to it. They weren't the best opposition, I have to say. I think they made us look good because it gave the sort of players like Davies, Dyer, Sanchez a lot of time on the ball, so they were to pick a pass without being under too much pressure.
Agreed, yeah.
They did sort of kind of try and press us a little bit, but they weren't really hurting us, though, were they?
No, I'd say I'd like to believe that it's our defensive shape that did that.
That's you always want to. That's looking through the Spurs lens.
Yeah. And you even pointed out that like we made them go back to their keeper a lot of the time, and that's a sign of good defensive shape and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's true.
But they actually made more passes than us. Do you know what I mean? They had good possession in some points, but they weren't doing anything.
With it. Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the sign of the difference between a good side and an average side, I guess, is that a kind of an average side will, under the slightest bit of pressure, they'll go on the side of caution. Yeah. They'll go backwards a lot, sideways, and they'll kind of shift it out to the wing, and then back inside, out to the other wing, and they don't really penetrate at all. Yeah. And that's kind of what we saw today. There was a lot of huff and puff from them, but no real, penetration.
Agreed. Yeah, I think that we kind of we dominated it with chances in a way, like as in we didn't dominate it with possession. We had some good football. I think Skipp just oozed class
running
today.
Ting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Skipp is our best midfielder. I'm saying it.
At the moment. At the moment,
he's the best midfielder we've got in the squad.
Yeah,
in my
ahead
opinion.
of Ndombele, because you're a bit of an Ndombele.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah.
Because
tell me what you like about the cause.
Okay, so he fights for the cause. What else do you like?
He
about
fights
him?
for the cause. I don't know that. I know stats wise that probably Højbjerg's a little bit ahead of him in the defensive aspect, but I think what you gain from Skipp being able to turn and receive a ball, so he can receive a ball from Dyer, for example, in the defence, and turn into trouble and get out of trouble. Whereas Højbjerg can't do that. If he's pressed too much, he has to pass back every time. Skipp can do that. You saw that pass that he picked.
He can pick a pass.
Was that the first half or the?
Which one?
You know the pass that I think it was through to Region on the left, and then Kane. You know Kane's chance where he hit the goalkeeper.
I think that was second half. I'm not sure, but
maybe.
Anyway.
But yeah,
he's got that. He's got that in his locker, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like maybe he's got that more so than Højbjerg actually. Yeah.
And he can still be solid defensively. His positioning is brilliant. His positioning is probably better than Højbjerg, to be honest. Have you ever noticed how many times Skipp is sometimes last man? He's run beyond the defence to make a clearance or something like that. This boy is going to be brilliant in 5 years. He really is.
Well, I think he's already beyond what we're expecting of him this season. I just hope that as Spurs fans, we're not going to put too much pressure and expectation on him.
I am.
Yeah, no. I mean, this season, I don't to the point where we start going, "Oh, you're rubbish, Skipp," because we sort of set the bench too high with him. You know what I mean? I think we need to just lay off him a little bit. He's having a great start to the season because this is what happened with Højbjerg last season. He came in, we weren't expecting too much, and he put in a real warrior performance last season. I think he played almost every game, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
And now because we're getting used to that, and we start to see his game drop off a little bit, everyone's like, "Get him out!" I think we need to have a little bit of patience with some of these players. Not get too excited when they're having good games, and don't get too reactive when they're having like a little of a bad spell of games. I don't know, but at the moment the formula's kind of working. So that's 2 back-to-back wins since the beginning part of the season, right?
Yeah. First time.
We won the 3 games, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know what's going on with the Man United game, but we whatever happens, we've put ourselves in a good position. Got that game in hand. Yeah. 4th isn't out of sight. To be honest with you, and teams keep dropping points around us.
It could just be a freak season, couldn't it? Where you never know.
We definitely wouldn't deserve 4th, but there's a chance.
Yeah. Something. I mean, you would have to say though, Nuno did get a lot of hard fixtures in his run, and I would say the last, Conte's, as he's come in, he's had a little bit of an easier fixture list, hasn't he, to start with? But there does seem to be a little bit of a that kind of new manager bounce. There seems to be a little bit more, I don't know, energy, enthusiasm. There seems to be a little bit more camaraderie I can see on the pitch. It feels like they're all pulling for each other a little bit more.
Yeah,
there's
definitely.
a little bit less of that kind of dark cloud over the players' heads. A bit.
I feel like they're happier. Wouldn't you be happier if Conte's walked in? Do you know what I mean? Compared to Nuno. So,
and he was orchestrating on the sidelines. That looked great.
He's up for it. He's celebrating every goal like it's a last-minute winner and stuff. So, yeah, definitely.
All right, shall we say best player and unsung hero? What do you reckon?
Okay, yeah.
Do you want to go
Me first?
Yeah.
Okay. Best player, it's got to be Ollie Skipp, I'd say.
Yeah.
Unsung hero, Ben Davies.
Yeah. I was actually going to say the same.
Wait,
yeah.
okay.
I mean, for me, I'm going to give man of the match to Reguilon, and second best was Skipp for me.
Yeah.
But they were both like very good performances. But just unsung hero, I'll go Davies as well.
Yeah. I'm surprised neither of us picked Son. The goal.
Sonny was very busy on the ball. It was just a little bit frustrating that he just couldn't get the ball out into create some decent chances for himself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be fussed if someone said Son man of the match either.
I'm going to give you a loaded question here.
Yeah.
To finish out.
Oh, here we go.
How many more games does Kane need to go?
Well, I know.
Without scoring to get dropped. How many more would you say?
What, for me or for Conte?
For Conte.
I think Conte's going to keep him in forever, indefinitely.
Yeah.
And I just think that's the wrong move. I think that, no player's bigger than the team at the moment. Not that I think he had a terrible game today.
I don't think he's uninterested, by the way.
No, I don't. I don't think he had I don't think he was terrible today. I think he had some very good moments, some excellent moments actually, where he was actually dropping deep, almost like last season. He was dropping back into that almost quarterback role, and spraying the passes. Yeah, and we saw that, didn't we?
And do you know what? He had the hockey assist, as we
the hockey assist,
the pre-assist. So he's been involved.
Yeah.
But what's he doing? So that's 2 games on the trot that he's missed 2 Kane chances.
Yeah.
He's just thrown it into the goalkeeper.
But that wouldn't be why I would drop him though. For that reason, the reason I might rest him is just I just want to see him, just to know that his place isn't just always there. Because I think that would give him a little bit of a rocket up the bum.
I think so as well.
And I think can you imagine if like players like Hill and Bergwijn and you had Son and Moura came on with that pace, that explosivity, you could experiment with a different dimension and different dynamic that you don't have at the moment with Kane.
Agreed.
And I just think with Kane it can kind of labour the forward line a little bit, and it can kind of slow things down a little bit. I just think just rest him for a game or two, just to try out a different dimension. I know it's Harry Kane, but that's personally what I would do. But I don't want to. I know that's like a kind of a provocative question.
Yeah,
I don't think he was terrible today. He did look very slow at times, and I would have brought him off with 20 minutes to go. I would have taken him off, unless you're thinking, let's hope he gets a goal.
That's what I was hoping.
That's maybe why.
But if I was Conte, I would have kept him on as well, because I just need him to get a goal.
Get that goal. Just bumble it over the line, whatever happens. Any other performances that stood out for you?
I think Winks was okay when he came on. He made that nice pass. Emerson, because you've already mentioned Reguilon. Emerson was steady Eddie, I feel like he wasn't brilliant offensively, but he looked quite good defensively. He put in a lot of work down that side. They were trying down that
he was out muscling the Brentford players quite a lot actually.
And instead of what we've got in this squad is a lot of physical players that have no finesse on the ball at all. He is quite physical, but he can retain the ball and he can make a simple pass. Yeah. Unlike people like Sanchez and other.
Do you know what? That's a really good point, because I think there's a lot of players in this team that I noticed that they can play simple passes, but there's not many that can pick out that kind of real fizz the ball through the lines type pass. I think Skipp's got that in his game.
Yeah.
Ndombele's got that. Kane's got that.
Gio can do that,
but
if
I
he's
think
given a run.
The issue is that when we come up against really top opposition,
you need that.
You kind of need those players on the ball to be able to break the lines with those passes.
Exactly.
And I think we're a little bit fortunate today in that Brentford weren't the most aggressive off the ball.
Yeah.
And we had players like Sanchez, Dyer, Davies on the ball, and they had time to look up and play that simple pass. Højbjerg was doing it as well. But I think if you had a team that was really aggressive off the ball against us, then I think they could get unstuck. But
you know what? I do feel like that is part of Conte's system though as well. Like, as in, the reason that we have a bit more time at the back is the way that he's set us up. Yeah. If they actually come to press us man to man, like you saw in the second half with Leeds, they will leave spaces that then our midfield has some space. And do you know what I mean? So it's like, even though I do feel like we need an Ndombele or a midfielder that can make those passes, Conte's system does shadow for that a little bit, or kind of make up for that a little bit. And I don't think that we will be as bad against bigger teams as you're suggesting there. Or better teams.
I've noticed that we are trying to pass the ball out a little bit more.
Yeah.
Done. And also, if you noticed, we've started doing short corner routines as well a little bit more. Yeah. That's the first time I've seen that this season.
Yeah.
Where Son was passing it off to, I think, laying off to like Moore or something like that.
And one of them ended up being a goal, didn't it?
So clearly, it might have done. No, there was a chance where Sonny had whipped in and it didn't lead to a goal. It didn't lead to anything. But
what about the own goal? Wasn't that?
Yeah. That was from a Sonny cross, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But either way, I just noticed that there's a little bit more effort to sort of play the ball a little bit more than it was. Before, we'd just lump it, wouldn't we? Do these pings. There'd always be these crossfield pings all the time. The only thing also I'd say is that Brentford looked dangerous when they were defending a corner. They committed a couple men forwards. I can't remember who it was on the right-hand side. And that nearly cost us. It nearly cost us a couple of times. He had the pace and he nearly got in. And conversely, I would say that I would like to see us do that. I would like to see, when we're defending a corner, I still see all 11 men in the penalty area.
Yeah.
Just stagger some men, one on the edge of the area and another one further up.
Agreed.
And then when you get that header out, you can break on them.
Yeah.
Rather than sort of getting pinned back into your own area and then having to just always defend the first ball. You know what I mean? I just think I would quite like to see that as a little tactical change, and then use that pace of a Son, a Mora, or a Reguilon, to hit them, on the counter. But apart from that, it was comfortable today.
Yeah.
It was. I didn't have the fear. I didn't have that kind of typical Spursy fear.
We didn't, did we?
No.
It wasn't like when we covered the Chelsea game or anything like that. It was very calm. Even when they had chances, I didn't feel scared. Do you know what I mean? So
that's why we didn't erupt as much as we did for the goals, like when we did against Leeds, because that felt like a real relief, didn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I felt like we were in control of this game the whole way through. Definitely. Yeah.
So there you have it, guys. 2-0 to Spurs. A comfortable win at home there. Ben and Sim are wondering what you thought of the game. We're going to go into the post-match fan show in a little while. We're going to have a little break first. But yeah, I feel good. 2 wins on the bounce.
Yeah.
We're looking upwards. Hopefully we'll be able to overtake the Woolwich Wanderers soon.
Yeah, we'll
and
see
then we
what
can
happens
then
there.
who knows, maybe 4th place is up for grabs, and who would have thought that a few weeks ago.
Never. Yeah,
so
definitely.
things are looking promising anyway. Things are growing, things are improving. So anyway, guys, we'll see you on the post-match fan show very shortly. Cheers.